After 13 years, after 13 years, Monique and Lee Daniels have reconciled, set their differences aside, and have officially apologized. In terms of Lee Daniels, apologize for hurting you in reference to Monique. So the feud is over, and I will discuss it. Let's get into it, shall we? Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Miss Analytical. I'm coming to you live and direct on Spreaker and YouTube on this Thursday rainy night. And the mood is right, but I had to talk about this. So anyway, I love reading from the Hollywood Reporter because it gives you a more insight into the stories. So according to Hollywood Reporter, this posted actually on April Fool's. So this was a Friday, 9:30 p.m. So this story is almost a week old. So it reads, Lee Daniels joins Monique on stage for public reconciliation. I am so sorry for hurting you. Daniels directed Monique in 2009's Precious, for which she won the Oscar, but she later said the filmmaker told her she had been blackballed by the industry. Lee Daniels and Monique are officially burying the hatchet after years of tension played out in the media between the pair, who collaborated on the 2009 film Precious. As seen in footage shared to social media Friday, the Oscar-winning actress was on stage during her Monique and Friends April Fool's Day with the Queen of Comedy event at St. George Theater on Staten Island. The clip shows Daniels joining Monique in front of the crowd and offering a public apology. I'm so sorry for hurting you in any way that I did, Daniels said to the comedian, leading her to put her hand to her heart and appeared to get emotional. Y'all, and she was my best friend. My best friend. Y'all think that Precious was just that God working through the both of us. He continued, and we're gonna fucking do it again. As the two briefly danced on stage, as Deadline reported earlier Friday. Monique will star in Daniels' Demon House for Netflix, joining the previous cast, Andra Day, Glenn Close, and Ingenue Ellis. After Daniels concluded his on-stage moment by telling the star, I love you, she also told him she loved him. In 2015, Monique told a Hollywood Reporter that she hadn't experienced the kind of pay increase she would have expected after winning the Best Supporting Actress Oscar in 2010 for her role as Mary Lee Johnston opposite Gabourey Sidibe in the title role of Daniels' film Precious. She also said that she received a lot of criticism for her behavior amid that year's awards season. I got a phone call from Lee Daniels maybe 6 or 7 months ago, Monique said back then. He said to me, Monique, you've been blackballed. And I said, I've been blackballed? Why have I been blackballed? And he said, because you didn't play the game. And I said, well, what game is that? And he gave me no response. Daniels told TRH in a statement at the time, her demands through Precious were not always in line with the campaign. This soured her relationship with the Hollywood community. The director added that he still considered her a friend. The following month, Monique told Good Morning America, Mr. Daniels had a problem that I didn't say his name the night of the Oscar Awards. I'm going to get to that. The dialogue continued into 2018 when Daniels told TMZ, it breaks my heart that she feels that we blackballs her. No one blackballs her. Monique blackballs her. And that's that as far as the story. the article. Now I'm going to go in because I reported the Monique drama from the beginning on this channel. So if you've been following my channel from the beginning, you know that I talked about Monique so many times, okay? But the main focus of Monique was her being blackballing and that she didn't deserve it. So we're going to go back in time to November of 2009. Precious premieres. And it's surprisingly a hit movie. Like it grosses a lot of money. When Monique signed her contract prior to filming Precious in 2007, she signed a contract on scale to be paid in scale. Being paid in scale pretty much means you just get a flat fee. You don't get percentage points. However, when the movie was picked up to be released in 2009, it got picked up by Lionsgate. And the producers were Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. Now, Lee Daniels felt some kind of way, not really of Oprah, but Tyler Perry, because he felt that this dude was taking over his movie that he directed and produced and walking around like it was his production when he just invested the money for it to be distributed along with Oprah to be distributed throughout theaters around the world. So he felt like really disrespectful, and he told Monique, he was like, I'm not feeling this bullshit. I'm not feeling it at all. So what occurred is that Cannes Film Festival occurs yearly. And it's like the precursor at the time to getting that Oscar. So this is like the start of Oscar buzz. She declined because she was hosting her daily show on the BET network called The Monique Show. So she said, I can't do all these free promotions and I'm not going to get paid. And then I'm not going to get paid on my show because I have a contract with BET. They're going to want me to also work with them. So it's a conflict. Now, if I get paid, then that's fine. I'll do it. But I can't work for free. So Oprah, Tyler got upset. Now, Lee, he was caught in a rock and a hard place. Because with Lee, it was like, I get it, but you got to do it. Because they want to see you. They want to see the whole, cast. But she was like, I can't do it. So Monique never went to the free promotional events to promote Precious. Tyler Perry and Oprah, but really Oprah got upset. And she was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing it. So, okay. So, SAG, Golden Globes, NAACP Image Awards, all the other awards, BAFTA, the Independent Spirit Awards, the Critics' Choice Awards. She goes to them. And then she goes to the Oscars. Now, the day of the Oscar ceremony, the woman Kim Whitley comes over and Monique is being interviewed by a mainstream news outlet. And she includes Kim Whitley in the interview. And I have issues with Kim Whitley because she turned on her and talked real dirty about her friend Monique. And she was crying. It was like, I wish I could be just like you, Monique. You're happy. You have a husband. You have children. You have a stellar career. And Monique's like, you can get those things too if you want it. But she turned on Monique. I'm not going to really go into that. But what happened the day of was that there was a woman who was the second production assistant. And she complained about not getting properly paid by Lee Daniels. And she told Monique. And Monique said, Lee, you got to pay this woman. This woman did a lot. She was getting shit off the ground with tissues to make sure that it was a clean film footage. She made sure that she swept the areas on the street. She set things up to make Precious come to life. You got to pay her. I'm not dealing with her right now. I will deal with her after the ceremony. No, Lee Daniels, you got to pay her. This woman worked hard. So, Lee got mad at Monique because she was too focusing on this woman. She was like, she don't matter. It's your day, Monique. Monique, it's your day. Because you know how Lee talks. Monique, it's your day. It's our day. We're about to make history. So, the Oscars happen. And Monique wins for some Best Supporting Actress Best Actress in a Supporting Role. The first Black woman to come from Comic View, Def Comedy Jam, hosting Apollo, to win an Oscar. She wins, and she thanks everyone but Lee Daniels, and that is what started the feud. That's what did it. Now, up until that point, her and Lee was still cool. And I always said, if you listen to my commentary going back 4 years ago, I said the one thing that she was wrong about, she should have thanked Lee Daniels because he casted her in that film, no matter what. Even if she never dealt with him again, thank that man. You thank him. He put you in that movie. He put you in position to be nominated, let alone win that Oscar. And my mom saw it, and my mom said, Joy, she didn't thank that man. I said, no. She said, it's going downhill. And she got blackballed. And I think had she thanked him, the blackballing would have been prevented somewhat. Because they even took the Monique show away. I mean, the way they blackballs Monique, they blackballs her. They did it. They did it. And through the years, she always talked about what happened. But she was never vicious when it came to Lee Daniels. She really, really loved that man. And she saw him. She's like, he was my friend. Like, me and him were friends. Now, I'm going to talk about Tyler and Oprah. I like Tyler Perry in his art and his work. But I'm going to say something. Tyler Perry and Oprah made that situation bad. I don't think Tyler was necessarily vicious. I think Tyler wanted her to play the game. And Monique was like, no, I'm not playing the game. But Oprah don't like Monique. And you could look at photos and see Oprah didn't care for Monique. Now, the thing about Oprah and think about Tyler and Monique. She never worked for Tyler. She never worked for Monique. They just produced the movie after everything was over. Now, Tyler told her in confidence, according to an interview when they was at the Hoodie Awards, Steve Harvey's annual Hoodie Awards, that's now known as the Neighborhood Awards. He said, Monique, if you are nominated for the Oscar, you can get up to $5 million for a film. Okay? But if you win, you can command anywhere from $5 to $7 million because you will win an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. And that's true. Now, because Lionsgate picked up the film was supposed to be able to get profits. Now, we know the actual actress that played Precious, Gabourey Sidibe, she's good. She was on Empire. And she's worked a lot on a lot of shows. I want to make that clear. So she benefited from it a lot. Then you have some of the other actors in it. But the one that made that movie pop never got anything but the $50,000 fee to film that movie. To this day, she never got the back end profits and receipts. And she didn't do it for the money. She did it for the love of the story. And that project was filmed. They started filming it in the fall of 2007. Because I remember, because it was filmed near my neighborhood. Not in my neighborhood, but it was filmed in 3 parts of Harlem and then a part of the Bronx. And then it was a section actually in Brooklyn they filmed. But near my area, they filmed near 127th and St. Nicholas area. That was the main area of a lot of footage. So for those people who aren't from New York, I'm spilling tea to let y'all know where this movie was filmed at. But this movie, I liked Precious. I thought Precious was a great film. But it was just so shamed what happened. Because it didn't have to happen like that. But another thing I want to close out in saying is that it's really funny how 2018 was when all this really... Because first she talked about it in 2015, then 2017. But with the Netflix thing, it was really funny how she spoke about this and they reconciled right when Chris Rock got smacked by Will Smith. Now, that's very poignant because Chris Rock could have batted for Monique. But instead, he batted for Homegirl, the Oscar host that this past week, Amy Schumer. And you see how it all came together, how they did Monique dirty. He got smacked by Will Smith. And it's almost like poetic, like Will Smith smacks Chris Rock. And they all come down, they're all embarrassed. And Monique finally gets the apology that she's been waiting for from leedaniels. And now he's going to make sure she's no longer blackballed. That is something. And in a strange way of things, it's almost as if Will Smith indirectly sacrificed his career to allow Monique, a black woman, because he was protecting Jada, who's a black woman, his wife. He protected all those black women on the set of the movie. And it's like Monique is coming back up into the forefront like she should have stayed at and reaped the rewards of being an Oscar winner. That is poignant. Now, in closing, I want to say that I don't think his apology was that sincere, but I don't think that he ever hated Monique. He was having interest and had to basically look out for himself because this was a big break for him. He didn't get the Academy Award for Best Director in a film. He would have been the first black man to get that. But the woman who directed The Hurt Locker, she won. I can't think of her name, but she won as the first woman to win for Best Director for a film. Okay? Now, this is the only thing that I'm hesitant. I don't think Monique should work with leedaniels right away. And on a film called Demon House, and on a film from Netflix, dealing with spookism, I wouldn't go deep into that type of atmosphere. Because it could be some type of weird kind of spooky energy. I'm not going to say it out loud, but if you kind of know what I'm getting at and alluding to, then you get my drift. Just read what the project is about. I think it's going to be a great film. But what I also think is going on too, and this just really hit me. I think that leedaniels wants to prove that Monique is working as a good person to work with. And he wants to help her get back on her feet. But I also think that because Octavia was the original person that was casted for this movie, and she had to pull out of it because of the conflict schedule of a show she's filming with Apple Plus, I feel that this is like an appeasement of Netflix basically saying, we did you dirty when we offered you $500K to work with your comedy special. So we're going to offer you this role to be in this movie, Demon House. I don't know the negotiations of the whole thing that happened with Netflix and Monique. But what I think Monique should do, I don't think she should work with Netflix unless they give her $5 million. Give me, because now this is a drama. This ain't comedy. Give me $5 million, and then we could talk, or offer me a multi-million dollar, a $10 million deal to work on your movies as a leading lady, a comedy show, a comedy special, a documentary about my life and comedy, my comedy specials, and then I'll work with you all. This could be the first project, but I was made a fool out of. And you gave the men $20 million. And you gave Amy Schumer, who was a new kid on the block, pretty much, compared to my resume, you gave her $13 million. I have 20 years head start on this girl in comedy. And you didn't care, but you acknowledged that I was a legend. That is something that we have to be careful with when it comes to this. So it could be an appeasement game too. So with that being said, it's your girl, Miss Anna Little. I'm signing off. Thank you for listening to this. Thank you to all of those that visit Spreaker and listen to my commentaries on Spreaker. And I am officially monetized on Spreaker after 3 years. Thank you. And I'm happy about that. And download the episodes on Spreaker. Also, comment, visit Spreaker, not just YouTube. Because when you visit those outlets, it boosts my promotions of my content. Because YouTube, particularly, is very, 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 very lax on purpose. They're not really promoting anybody's material at all. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that being said, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. And I will be back tomorrow. Later.